I plead not guilty. I could stand here and it could mean something, or I can blow the chance of getting back what I feel like was never given to me in the first place. You're supposed to be protecting me. But you see people like me, you automatically think I'm guilty. Even though every piece of evidence states otherwise. Young black girl in America does everything society claims acceptable. Pursues a well education to become someone who creates an impact in communities like mine. I've tried that. I lived my entire life with people telling me what I should do and who I should be. How would I know any better? And you come in here with little fight in you because it's not your life. You can't relate. You couldn't possibly relate. You stand here not knowing that the world is bigger than you. You want me to plead guilty for defending myself? You're wrong. About me? About this case? I won't hide behind shadows anymore. You've never had to walk into a room and feel uncomfortable because of how they see you. When we walk into a room where there's not many people that look like us, we are automatically viewed as poor, uneducated, and ghetto. And in my case, perfectly fit to have committed this crime, right? How is that fair? If I weren't a colored woman, would I even be on trial? I bet there wouldn't be anything silently held against me today if I weren't. Discrimination and racial profiling can be a silent act, but we can still see through it. That is the silent act that has put my future and my freedom up for grabs. But I've decided it's not yours or anyone else's to take. You're not any better than them. You see what's going on and you do nothing to stop it. Nothing to correct it. The system is supposed to protect people like me from people like him. But because I come from an urban neighborhood where there is little to nothing, I must be the problem. You question if anything I'm saying is true? Today I stand up. Not guilty. Fighting for rights I should already have. Not hiding. Not playing it safe. And not doing what you say. It changes today. They always say, do as they say. They never say, fight for what's right. This could happen to someone else. What impact would I be making if I plead guilty? That's like saying there's no consequence to abuse. If you would have asked me a year ago, The thought of spending my junior year fighting for my freedom would have never crossed my mind. If you're asking me what it is I did wrong, it was believing I would be protected by him and today by you. I trusted you, my attorney, to prove that I am not a murderer, but a woman who made the wrong decision. A decision you would find so simple. Trusting someone. But it's not that simple. I trusted he wouldn't hurt me, but he did. I could have been dead today. But those aren't the facts you're looking at, right? At the beginning of this trial, I did that simple thing. Because in a democracy that never gave us a chance, I found it in me to give it a chance. I hoped that I would have been protected. That it would matter who in fact was the victim. I thought you would see it clear. A young Black woman with a good track record and no red flags. Just one. I am a Black woman. It came down to a decision I wouldn't say was fully mine to make. What in your eyes would have been the right thing to do? Should I have not tried to live? Should I have not defended myself? If this is a democracy who claims we are all for one and one for all, then why does that exclude me today? You're asking me, how do I plead? I plead not guilty.
You will not believe the day that I had. So, as you know, our school is doing a rendition of Mean Girls the Musical, and naturally, I auditioned. Honestly, I shouldn't even have had to audition. It's obvious that I'm head and shoulders above those other girls, but Mr. Green is always trying to give everyone a fair chance, so whatever. But I nailed my monologue, of course. I admit I may have been a little pitchy on my solo, but it's okay. I recovered well. I still rock that director's socks off. Cut me some slack, okay? I'm rusty. Anyways, my audition's over. I leave the audition room feeling like $1,000,000, and you will never guess who I see warming up in the hall. Rashida frickin' Thomas, the darkest girl in our grade. I mean, at first, I thought she must have been waiting for someone else, but lo and behold, Mr. Green calls her name in to go next. My jaw literally dropped to the floor. I mean, there was no way that she'd be better than me, but I just had to hear it for myself. So I stood there, like, with my ear pressed against the door. I mean, I couldn't really hear anything, but I just knew that there was no way that she'd be better than me. Like, really, she was not going to be better than me. So her audition's over, and we're waiting in the hall for Mr. Green to post the cast list. I'm probably the only one who didn't just about have a heart attack from waiting. I just knew that I'd be cast as the lead, and Rashida would be lucky if she'd be in the ensemble. I have never been more wrong. Do you know they give Rashida the role of Katie Heron? On her first audition, she gets the lead. And then that's when it hit me. Affirmative action. I mean, that must be how she got into Brentwood High anyway. She probably got a scholarship or something for being from the hood. And, I mean, I guess that makes sense. They're trying to seem diverse and inclusive. So, sure, give Nappyhead the lead in the spring musical. That'll look great on the brochures. But what really burns me up is the role that they gave me. Karen Smith. Like, seriously? After all I've given that drama department, this is how they repay me? With Karen? It's unbelievable. Like, I literally can't believe it. So, I tried to be nice, not be bitter, and congratulate Little Miss Steele my lead role. She seemed all too happy to be talking to me. She said something about seeing me on the school's website as Fiona from when we did Shrek, and how excited she was to meet me when she found out she'd be going here and blah, 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 blah. I almost started to like her, actually. She just had to bring up me getting Karen. It's like she was literally rubbing it in my face. She goes, "You must be so happy to be playing Karen. She was funny in the movie." Like I'm some character actor. So, on my way here, I was able to track down her Instagram. It was quite easy, actually. I follow Jake, who follows Sarah J, who follows Alicia, who follows Rashida. Duh, I have to study her. Like, I really need to see what makes her think she's better than me. I mean, she's not better than me, but whatever. Like, look, she's not even that much prettier than me. And, oh my goodness. Do you notice anything? She only has black friends. Maybe that's why she doesn't like me. I'm not black enough for her. I mean, it's like, duh, I'm half black, genius. And you know what? I think she should be more open-minded and befriend some white people. I mean, like, she is at Brentwood now. She better get used to it or else they will eat her alive. I would know. Okay, sure. Some of them can be strange or different, but isn't that anybody? They're not all bad. Like, look at me. I was raised entirely by white people, and I turned out fine. Okay, yeah, my family can be a little messed up. It's kind of funny, but my Mima constantly calls me you there. I'm almost 100% sure she doesn't know my real name. She thinks it's 1930 and I'm her maid. My mom doesn't even correct her anymore. She probably figures it's been so long, it's pretty much worthless. And you know what? My white cousins, they go to parties without me, and they always seem to be busy when I want to hang out. I guess they don't want to introduce their friends to their black cousin. And every Christmas, there's always one aunt or uncle that has to wish me a happy Kwanzaa. Like, what even is that? And I remember in second grade, when I first started at Brentwood Elementary, getting into an argument with Samantha at one of her sleepovers because I had to wear a scarf to sleep and she didn't understand why and said I looked like a thug. I mean, yeah, sure, we're friends now, but that never goes away. And I felt so terrible because none of the other girls even stood up for me. They just laughed. They always made jokes like that. And I felt so stupid. So alone. And that will always stick with me. But you know what I just realized? I'm no better than any of them. Like, I've never spoken to Rashida before today. And here I am calling her a bunch of names for what? Because she took a role that I feel like I deserved over her? I mean, she probably was better than me. She must have been. I mean, she had to be, right? Mr. Green is a great director, and he knows what he's talking about. So who am I to challenge his decision? I've been picking on her, and I alienated her just like everyone did to me growing up. I wonder if she'd like to hang out this weekend and go over our lines. I think I'm gonna DM her. Anyways, thanks for listening. Don't forget to order your tickets for Mean Girls. They're on pre-order this Friday. I better see you at opening night.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I'm an alcoholic, drug addict. First, let me start by saying I'm 22 years old, born and raised in Ocala, Florida, before moving here to Philly. I decided to join this meeting today because, I'll just come out and say it, last week I tried to kill myself. I gathered all of my antidepressants, all of my painkillers, anything I could try to find, and I was just staring into the mirror, and no, I'm gonna spare you guys the details. But my roommate Colin, he stopped me right before I could do anything. He tackled me to the ground to restrain me. I was crying. I was so overwhelmed. But he saved my life. But anyways, Colin told me that I really needed to come to this meeting today to try to talk about my feelings, and at first I was a little hesitant because I've always had this fear of being judged, and but I just accepted that I need help. I desperately need help. So I've just got a lot going through my mind right now, so I'm just gonna ram it all out to you guys. I've suffered a lot of trauma as a child, and I largely believe that it's because of this trauma that caused me to start drinking, so I could try to forget and numb all of that pain and suffering. I am openly gay, and I have been since I was about 15. And again, at first I was afraid to come out because I was afraid of being judged, and I didn't want people to hurt me. And look, it probably doesn't even make sense, but I was just so afraid. When I was 15, I moved to Philly with my parents. And that's when I decided that I could come out. I just felt safer now that I wasn't around my other family anymore. And living here in Philly, it's been remarkable. I've been surrounded by people who love me and support me, and it's been that way for years. But last week, everything changed. Forgive me if I trigger anybody here, but last week, I was on my way home from work. I usually catch the subway train at around 1 a.m. I arrived at the station, and I was walking away, and I passed an alley, and there were these group of guys, and I guess they noticed the way that I was walking. I have a pretty feminine walk to me. You guys probably noticed when I came in. But they stopped me, and at first they were just asking for some change, and I thought that they were homeless. So I stopped, and I was going through my pockets to see if I had anything to help. But then one of them grabbed me, and he threw me to the ground in the alleyway, and all of them, they just started screaming at me, calling me things like a faggot and a bitch and a queer, and they were spitting on me, and I tried to get up and run away, but they pinned me to the ground and were punching me and kicking me and choking me, and I thought they were going to kill me. But I wish that they did. Because what they actually did instead was so much worse. They tore off my clothes and they raped me. I tried to scream, but nobody was around, and every time I opened my mouth to yell, they just hit me, and I couldn't do anything. I was crying, I was in so much pain, but any side of pain that I showed, they only went harder and they got angrier, and I've never felt that kind of pain before in my life. Even as a child, it was the worst thing imaginable. I don't even know how long it lasted. There were so many of them. But when they were done, they picked me up and they threw me in a dumpster. And I just laid there in that dumpster, just crying. I stumbled home, and I was in so much pain. All of my trauma from my childhood, all of my suicidal thoughts, all of it came over me. I was so overwhelmed. I didn't have any booze. I didn't have drugs. I didn't know what to do. So I tried to end it. But when Colin stopped me, he took me to the hospital, and I was there until 2 days ago. And he took me to file a police report, and they're doing everything they can to find those guys, but until they're found, I don't even feel safe going outside on my own. Like, I don't even feel safe calling an Uber or a taxi or a Lyft or anything. Like, Colin even brought me here today. He's been driving me around everywhere. Like, y'all, I cannot explain to you how fucking awesome Colin is. Like, everybody needs a Colin in their lives. Okay, look, I've been taking up a bit of time here already, and I thank you guys for listening to me and not judging me, but I joined this meeting today because I need help. I'm an addict, alcoholic, user, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm gay, I'm a rape victim, I'm angry, I'm afraid, I'm just tired. I'm so fucking tired. And I can't and I won't allow myself to stoop so low again to the point where I feel like I need alcohol or drugs for me to feel not feel the need to kill myself. You know, I need to get my life back in order. So today I am declaring the beginning of my sobriety. Colin, he agreed to sponsor me and watch over me and make sure I never go back to what I was doing before. So in closing, all I have to say is that there are going to be people who judge you and hurt you and belittle you and make you feel worthless and like an object. But no matter what, you can't give in to them. You can't give in to that evil and that darkness. And no matter what, you need to love yourself and spread love. When you are having a bad time, it is okay for you to reach out for help. So, again, I thank you guys for all listening to me and allowing me to get this help. And this will be my first of many meetings to come. Everybody, stay safe, and please get home today safely. Thank you all.
We were at a dinner party when we first met. Do you remember that? The way my curls fell off my shoulder, my body outlined in the red dress that sparkled just a little bit. You were standing across the room when you saw Jake flirting with me intensely, and I kind of liked it until I saw that jealous glare in your eyes. My heart started to race a little faster. You were like a hunter ready to catch his prey. It was exhilarating to watch you in pursuit when I knew that I looked good. I looked better than good. I still look good to you, right? I mean, haven't I been, for the past 2 years, even beyond our marriage, pleasing enough for you? It's okay. You don't have to answer now. I can still feel how much you love me. You know, I thought about this moment. I thought about it long and hard. I could never imagine myself the type to be married, and let alone for 2 years now. God knows how I felt about marriage when I saw my mother hiding her tears every single night. I thought it'd be nice to be your treasure again. That I could feel like the free woman that I once was. That if I just put this dress on, that maybe time would reverse its clock, or you would at least remember something. Could you just try? Just for tonight, try to look at me. We can enjoy each other's company at the dinner table. We don't even have to talk about those things that troubled you so much if you'd prefer. You must know that I am willing to do whatever it takes for us to feel comfortable again. To feel alive, to be what... You still haven't looked. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm smiling, and I'm bruised. I'm a star, baby. You're a star. At least that's what you said. You know what? All my life, I've played good girl. I've done everything I've been asked to do. No, not asked. Told. Lila, do this. Lila, do that. Lila, you know you're not supposed to. I'm freaking fed up. This life that you've built for me is a fantasy for you and only you. This house and your job, oh, God knows how precious your work is more to you than your wife. Till death do us part? Nowhere in there did it say death to my heart. About your everyone, master. You hold the key. But wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be grand if I could just take the keys back? Lila, sweet Lila, in control of her own destiny. She makes the rules, and she won't be hurt anymore. No, it's okay. I think I like this, baby. My fantasy becomes a reality. And you know what, babe? It's a reality without you. A reality where I don't have to be pushed around every damn day because someone else was displeasing to you. And you know, poor desperate little Lila will do whatever you want because she worships you. She has no defenses because she left everything to be with you. I have a degree, and I wanted things, but I more importantly wanted to be loved by you. Something different than my twisted childhood. But you're a king that way, yeah. You feel like a man when you're around me. I gave you that power. I let you do what you wanted. Well, what's the matter, babe? Are you scared? Do you think I'm gonna make a little scratch? I recognize fear because I was consumed by it for so long. And you know what? I'm gonna remember this moment where I saw fear in your eyes for me to have and to hold. To have and to hold. I'll cherish it forever. Oh God. Oh no. No. What did I do? No. Oh my God, no.
Ah, friends, you have returned from your slumbers. Holy Jesus, you all look like zombies! I am so sorry, you guys. I didn't know my all-nighters would cause a sleep decrease. Anyways, let me tell you people something. There are people of diversity that are everywhere that are put on some kind of restrictive law. And if that law gets broken, then they get unfair punishments. Which isn't cool. But since they're all seeing vitamin C and D due to sunlight, I have the solution to stop inequality and COVID-19 at the same time. Think about it. A network of tools at our disposal that can manage us through the start of winter, let alone the rest of 2020. People say things like, disabled people can't think or manage through problems on their own, or it's saying things like, go back to whatever country you belong. Which is why I invented these carrying-proof devices that we can use at the protest next week. This spray is called the Karen Be Gone. One spray of this will not only make your deodorant and cologne work harder than those sports enthusiasts we have at the University of Pennsylvania, but it could also repel the illiterate and discriminatory germs they might spew out of their vocal cords. I wouldn't recommend spraying it before a nice workout or on your moneymakers. Now this is a special headpiece. This thing will literally block out slurs and horse manure. This thing is capable of working like earplugs, but it lets you ignore the ignorance while giving your friends some subliminally intelligent messages. I call it the speakable earplugs. And as a bonus, it has a facial mask feature that not only lets you stop germs from covering your face, but it could also tell a person how well educated a person is before they speak. And now for my last invention. This chronological trinket of intricacy fires 3 rounds per second with 500 milligrams of tranquilizing fluid. Once I finalize these inventions, no counter-protesting Trump supporter could stop us. But there's only one problem. Not all the people approve of my inventions. But if I get them to use my inventions once more, then we can have indestructible protesters. Maybe somebody's company can let me, make more.
Let's get right into this. I'm an Army National Guardsman, and you've seen us out here since the George Floyd protest began at the end of May. I'm on duty the rest of the week, or however long the unrest continues, and I need to get this off my chest. As you know, there's many ways you can make a political statement in America. One way is to exercise your First Amendment rights through speech, through the press, and through assembly. And the other is taking the oath and joining the military. Disagree with me all you want. I know some of you out there didn't enlist with that in mind, And I've heard all of the cliche bullshit about it being about the man next to you or politics going right out the window when the first bullet goes by your head. Fuck that. Your entire military existence, like it or not, revolves around politics. It's politics, years in the making before you were even born, that have these bullets going by your head today. Your service does not exist in a vacuum, and killing or dying in the defense of an idea or concept is the ultimate political statement. We take this oath to defend America. We put our lives in the hands of politicians in good faith that if they send us to die, we die affirming the statement that America is the righteous paragon of truth, justice, and liberty in the free world. And we do all of this before military personnel. Making partisan political statements while on duty or in uniform is unauthorized by the Department of Defense. What I'm about to say may violate those regulations and kill my career, but as every year goes by, it becomes clear to me that the biggest threat to our freedoms isn't Al-Qaeda or ISIS or North Korea or undocumented immigrants. It's the other Americans. It's Americans who legalize racist and bigoted policies in the name of religion and security. It's Americans who put profits over lives. It's American employers who refuse to give livable wages and health care and then work us to death. I took an oath to defend America against foreign and domestic threats, and here they are as plain as day, but I gotta take off my uniform if I want to call them out because we can't misrepresent the Army. Fuck out of here. They got my ass defending Rittenhouse Square while we stand back and stand by to watch cops ironically commit more acts of brutality at protests against police brutality. What the fuck is that supposed to represent? What are we defending if the country we swore to protect no longer has our best interests in mind? My unit is mostly Black and Latino, all recruited locally from the poverty to military pipeline. We live where we serve. And not only do we see the injustice, but we have the training to know that you never kneel on someone's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds or blindly fire 32 rounds into a house. Nor do we pepper spray and beat surrendering protesters on their knees on 76 like some kind of fucking asshole. And if saying Black Lives Matter and gay and trans rights are human rights is a partisan political statement, well, then they can come fucking get me because it's out there on the internet forever. Goodbye.